Come for the game, stay for the commentary.
Ain't nothing but a seat then, baby.
Minion in. Okay, you guys, the new spring update details, the patch notes, are out. I am so excited about this. I've heard a bunch of good things. Let's dig into this. I haven't read this yet. Let's explore this together. Ancient weapons are going to be super exciting to see players earn, and we're really pumped for them. Oh, these are the first S-class weapons. Okay, we're getting S-class weapons, but ancient weapons, as far as I gather, are they're not regular S-class weapons. They're special, and there's going to be different ways to upgrade them and stuff. I'm skeptical. I think they're going to be cool, but there's a potential, for another gated secret. So I worry, but let's see where it goes. I think it's cool. There's going to be new target or timed dungeons. You will not be required to be level 43 to do them. That was something they did for the beta to keep people from accessing them before they were ready. I don't know the actual level requirements yet, but it's not 43. Each week, a random dungeon will be chosen, and then you get the chance to compete to finish it in the fastest time possible. I'm seeing on Reddit constantly guilds posting their speedrun results. So this is a big thing, and a lot of people are going to be happy about this. I'm looking forward to it. You can only get the reward once a week, but the dungeons are rotated daily. So if a dungeon comes up that you don't want to do, and then do the targeted dungeon that comes along the next day. DOC is getting an abyssal version. We kind of expected this. It's going to be epic. We're also getting an attack speed stat on weapons. We'll be able to get weapons with attack speed modifiers. That's awesome. It's going to be a game changer. High attack with high attack speed? I may have to think about rebuilding my crit characters. It increases the speed at which your animations play. This actually confirms my theory that DPS is reliant on your attack animations. I've always suspected that an Ippen Priest and Crusader have a slightly higher DPS because they have shorter limbs and it looks like their attack animations finish faster. There will be attack speed weapons and attack speed potions. That's very cool. The cost of dodging has been decreased to allow players to be able to dodge more often. And outside of dungeons, sprinting reduces stamina at a much lower rate. We can currently sprint for 6 seconds straight. It's being up to 20. I've said that in one of my previous videos, but it's nice to have that confirmed again. That's catching up to the basics. Let's dig into the meaty one, okay, the actual release notes. The new quests are coming. They announced that these were going to happen previously. Some NPCs are getting their own side quest lines. Orfina, Delilah Bendelac, oh Delilah, we love you, Krista, and Makoro. Those are the two Ippen that run the Golden Traders. New regional quests, dungeon guide quests. Of course new dungeon guide quests, because, there's been new dungeons, there's going to be a new abyssal. And 15 ancient weapon quests. Finally getting those S weapons. Very excited. A new arena, Black Disaster Under the Sand. New tutorials, and here's what I have been waiting for. I heard awesome things, but I'm now reading this myself for the first time. The path guiding system is coming. I've seen some clips of this. It looks great. I originally was worried that there's going to be auto pathing, but this is cool. This will greatly help new players. A character beauty system. There's an item that lets you change your hair or your entire appearance. We have been asking for character customization after creation from day one. They listened. This is amazing. Added an input delay when ending a dialogue conversation to prevent rolling forward unintentionally. I don't roll forward after conversations, but I do know the problem because I press B to end conversations. So depending on what class I'm on, I use a skill when the conversation ends. When you move channels, some of the chat record stays. That's awesome. If you're having a conversation or you're waiting for somebody to reply to a whisper or something, you can change channels without missing it. A hide HUD option. I have been asking for a photo mode since we started. This game is just dripping with good potential for screenshots. And now we get to take those screenshots without an interface. Yes! This is nice. If you're enhancing and you break your gear, it no longer reduces your stats. So broken gear no longer makes you weaker or reduces your gear score or power. It just means it can't be enhanced until it's fixed. A matchmaking favorite system. If there's one dungeon in particular that you run a lot, it'll be at the top of the list. No more scrolling when you're farming Sundered Sanctuary. Battlefield and arena merchants have been added to the Outlaw Village. That's pretty cool. Telepost usage fee. You guys, traveling to a telepost from anywhere on the map without using a telepost to do so, if in case that's confusing, now costs gold instead of star seeds. But how much gold a telepost costs depends on your level now. I'm guessing the higher your level, the more expensive that's going to be. But teleposting from an actual telepost to another telepost has had its fee reduced by 50%. We've got a new default emote, praise, which is awesome. I've wanted like a thank you emote. This is the closest to it. That's when somebody gets you up or heals you or whatever, you know, as soon as you leave combat, obviously, because you can't emote while you've just been healed. Then you can use the praise emote to say thank you. Material stacking has been increased. Guys, I have crafting alts that are sitting there with like 20 stacks of cloth. Those 20 stacks are now going to be 10 stacks because instead of 50, it's going to be 100 per stack. And for the special materials, 20 instead of 10. Yes! Such good news. They're getting rid of res sickness, it looks like. If you now die in the field and go to a soul pyre, you will no longer have res sickness, but you will lose a little gold. And again, the amount of gold you lose will be dependent on your level. But if you're PK'd by another player, you don't lose any gold. You're good. A shelter with bridge guards has been added on the way from the crossroads in front of Karzakor Gate to Castra Magnus, that's a graveyard. The shelter will appear until the campaign quest to enter Karzakor City is complete. Okay, now I get it. It's like the bridge to Sparios from Karzakor. It's blocked until you've completed a certain part of the quest chain. In the same way, you will now no longer be able to cross the bridge to the graveyard until you've completed a certain part of the quest chain in Karzakor. Combos for all classes have been changed from using 3 buttons to 2 buttons, which is very cool. Combos are going to be easier to pull off. I mean, by now, like most of us have them ingrained, they're second nature. So there's going to be a learning curve relearning the combos. But in general, and for everybody, especially new people coming in, that is excellent. Specific class adjustments. Let's dig into these guys. For Berserkers, fixed an issue where the Berserker class did not receive PvP damage when the Centurion's Command Guillotine skill was upgraded to level 3. Are people running around with Centurion's Command now that I'm not aware of? Otherwise, how do we know this is an issue? Guillotine is also on Nightwind, so that's probably what they meant. For mages, Frostbomb projectiles can now hit the target multiple times. That is awesome. I've always wondered why it doesn't do that. It always seemed like it should, right? And fixed an issue where Blizzard, not necessarily the one in Centurion's Command, I imagine, would not apply certain equipment options. And fixed an issue where the Crescent Moon's increased damage buff would be suppressed by lower or weaker increased damage effects. So now even if you're buffed by a Satyr or you step into a consecrated ground, you don't lose that effect. Change the Ranger's auto reload rule to activate 1 second after all the arrows have been used. That's pretty cool. I haven't played a Ranger in a while. I didn't even know there was an auto reload, to be honest. Change the effect of Mark. Guys, Mark no longer heals your party. It only heals you. Priest, Judgment, and Shield of Faith, my favorite combo, has been adjusted. We can't move while using those skills anymore. You have to stand still to charge them. That kind of sucks. It can be charged up to a 3rd stage. Okay, at the 3rd stage, the range of Judgment increases. You can hit even more enemies with it. The range of Shield of Faith is increased. That's cool. And the shield is applied even to the priest itself when the Shield of Faith skill is charged up to the 3rd stage. It's unclear on whether or not when you charge it to the 2nd stage, the priest is also protected by the shield, or if you have to charge it to the 3rd stage to protect the priest and his or her allies. I'm guessing you have to charge 3rd stage to get everybody. Banishment can't be activated twice anymore. Sorry. Stronger protective shields now override weaker protective shields. That's very cool. Crusaders. When Crusaders wear a shield, monsters can see the Crusader a little bit better. All Crusader shield items have an 80% increased aggro acquisition amount. Crusaders just got tanky, you guys. We have a higher chance of aggro now. Bosses will still randomly do aggro resets, but the Satyr's going to have an easier time catching that aggro now after those resets happen. Sundown Strike combo has been changed to a new combo. I know they did some analytics that showed that not a lot of people were using Sundown Strike, and they wanted to encourage that being used more, so I guess they made that improvement. Modified it so the first strike on, it says X combo, but it means twin slash, you guys, triggers faster. We knew this was coming, but it's awesome to actually see it happening. Modified so that bravery is not consumed by skills. All skills are now controlled by cooldown. But having bravery activates a special effect when certain skills are used. Daring Assault now gets you a protective shield that can block 1 attack. So after you jump in, you're a little safer. Counterattack on Nightwind has been changed from an immune effect to a lifesteal effect. Oh, satyrs be healing themselves. Guild stuff, we're getting the Guild Depot. I noticed that there's a bank in Sparios now. I wonder if that's going to be related to this, if that's where this is happening. I don't know if that was there before. I only found it recently. A costume has been ended to the Battlefield Season End reward. So get to the end, you get a costume. That is very cool. So I guess now that means there are PvP exclusive costumes. Congratulations, you guys. Merchants have been added to the battlefield that sell battlefield supply weapons. So now you can shop for potions while you're in Red Basin, I guess? Who's got the time? Aren't you being stabbed constantly in there? Resurrection Sickness Potion has been removed from the shops and modified sale price to 10,000 gold. But we're not getting Res Sickness anymore, are we? We're now just losing gold. New S-rank weapon item. Oh. Can be obtained from time dungeons. That's where you're getting these guys, from the time dungeons, which are not called time dungeons, they're called targeted dungeons. Just, to get some consistency back in here. Regions, guys. Tristeza, Padana, Canis Mountains, and Canis Valley are no longer PK zones. Here's a big old middle finger to all those Tristeza PKers. Because now you can't pick on the low-hanging fruit anymore. You're going to have to attack people in like Baoran and the Timeless Jungle. Those people have a better chance of defending themselves. It's no longer just about the easy kills. You're going to have to fight for those now. I am not against people PvPing each other in the open world, but the system has been consistently used for toxicity. There are guilds that pride themselves on beating the crap out of new players as they're coming into Tristeza to get them to quit and uninstall. This kind of behavior has been hurting the game, and very clearly, the devs agree. Round 8, you guys did awesome. Thank you. And to the people who say stuff like, stop crying, it's an open world PvP game, this update, if anything, proves that you're on the wrong side of that. It shows clearly that the devs did not want us just wantonly killing each other in the open world. If you've not heard this before, let me clear this up for you. Bless Unleashed was a non-open world PvP game when it was first designed. And they added open world PvP in as an afterthought when the game was almost complete. And they didn't do it because they wanted everybody beating the crap out of each other. They did it so that people going into higher level areas would feel nervous, would feel the danger. What they didn't want was for us to be dicks to each other. But that's what we did. And this is why we can't have nice things. Toxic behavior is the reason these restrictions are being put in place. If you people had just been able to behave like normal, decent humans and been respectful with each other, none of these changes would have been necessary. These notes prove that Bless Unleashed is not all about the open world PvP. It's a PvE game, you guys. It has open world PvP as an additional feature. But if you're just about griefing and delight in doing things that make other players unhappy, this is the wrong game for you, man. You know what else this means, you guys? The Outlaw Camp in Padana is now safe. You can no longer be PK'd while using the unlicensed enhancer. You can fail stack safely. You know what else? All those rare species tames in those locations, no one can PK you for trying to tame those anymore. Go get you some pandas. New smuggler locations. Holy shit, you guys. Zenkala and the Ivory Dunes are getting new smuggler merchant locations. Oh my god. People are going to be hunting the crap out of those. Check the description under this video, you guys. If you spot one of the new smugglers, let me know, and either I or one of the other content creators will make sure that information gets out there. They've moved around a lot of NPCs in a lot of different areas. We don't have to go over all of them individually, but they are optimizing NPC layout, and that's awesome. Reduce the amount of monsters in Karzakors the Crawling Labyrinth. It's kind of a shame, because those guys did not scale to level. So really the place wasn't a threat just for being so crowded. They nerfed the thug in front of Karzakor's gate when you first go there and there's somebody that's mad and you have to beat them up. He's weaker now, which, why? Why nerf that guy? He was a pushover. Are people having trouble with him? The HP of field monsters in areas from level 1 to 28 have been reduced. Okay, so they're going to be easier to kill. There won't be true balance, and I've said this before and I will say it again, until monsters are scaling to your gear score and not your level. It's cool that they're doing a lot of adjustments there, though. I love that they're not just focusing on new content. They are also focusing on improving existing content, and that's one thing that I've been harping on about, that I've been worried about, that is being overlooked, and they're doing it. I could not be happier with what's going on here. And then a bunch of bug fixes. From what I can see, none of these are like game-changing or groundbreaking, but they are necessary tweaks and adjustments. Guys, this update has me excited specifically for one reason, and that is that it shows very clearly that the devs are listening to our feedback. Everything I've been complaining about in my last 20 videos, most of that is being addressed in this patch, and it's awesome to see that we and the devs are on the same page about this. That they are improving existing content, that they are putting restrictions in open world PvP to limit toxic behavior. And on a personal note, I have to admit that I'm kind of enjoying global chat right now. Because I've been playing MMORPGs for about 18 years, and always have games that I can't opt out of PvP in gotten a hard pass from me, and Bless Unleashed has been the one exception, and that is because when the game first came out, the most toxic members of the community were all freaking out and leaving and uninstalling because open world PvP is broken. And that's happening right now. Open world PvP is being improved to make the community better, and the people who want to continue to be toxic are losing their shit, and maybe they'll leave, and thank God for that. This update gives me hope, and it confirms to us that the devs are listening. They are passionate about this game. They want to do it right. It's just taking a little time. They've had some hurdles. The game's had some growing pains, but they're getting there. It's moving in the right direction. And as far as I'm concerned right now, Round 8 are freaking heroes. Oh, and I almost forgot. PlayStation servers are being reduced to 3 channels. You guys are finally in the same boat with us on Xbox, and you'll know what we've been complaining about all this time. Have fun taking longer activating invasions. We feel your pain. Minion out.